Hey, how you guys doing? It's Tank12 over here, or TheFrXion, however you want to call me. And today I'm bringing you a preview video of the object for 30 version 2 on the test server 8.10. And as you can see, this tank is the predecessor to the object for 30, which looks very different. The first thing you will realize is that if you look at the tanks, that the object for 30 version 2 is actually higher, and that the turret is on its back like the object 416 over here. This means that this tank doesn't have the best gun depression, and you will have to get a whole new feeling to this tank. Also, you can only turn your turret at a 180-degree angle. That means you can only turn it up to there and up to there. You cannot turn your turret behind your tank. That is one of those biggest problems I have with this tank. But before we start with the problems and the negatives and all the pros and all that kind of stuff, let's jump into the vehicle details. So, developed at the Construction Bureau of Factory number 75 from March 8th throughout March 10th, 1953, the Ministry of Transport and Heavy Engineering considered the project along with an alternative version of the tank with a more conventional configuration. However, later development was discontinued. So this tank wasn't as popular pretty much, and they discontinued the production of it. I can tell why. So this tank has 1,700 hit points. It has 40 tons weight load limit, which is actually, it is heavier than the object 430, which is actually only about 1 ton lighter. Has the same engine power of 580 horsepower. It has the same speed with 55 kilometers per hour. Traverse speed of 48 is about the same as the Bad Chat. Hull armor of 120, 80 inside and 40 on the rear, which is about almost the same as the object for 30. So it's pretty much the same hull armor. The turret though is another thing. The turret is just as well armored, but it's a lot smaller if you look at it from the size of it. It's a lot smaller, and it's on the back of the tank, which can be a little bit of trouble, but also could be great for some players that like to play the VK 4502P. No, B. This tier 9 heavy tank. It is of course a very special tank. If you played the object 416 and you liked it, you will probably like this tank. But if you absolutely hated the object 416, you will absolutely hate this thing. I can already tell you guys that. The turret on the back is a really bad thing for most of the time, because I like to play with the turret in the middle. But hey, everybody's own opinion. So for the gun, the armament, you get the same armament as on the 55 T54, and you get to choose between two guns, the D54 and the M63. The M63 has a better rate of fire, about 0.39 rounds more per minute than the 100mm D54. But this gun has better pen and has a higher aiming time. The M63 has an aiming time of 2.3 seconds, and the D54 aiming time of 2.9 seconds. I like the higher pen gun because I want some extra pen on this tank. Rate of fire is actually fairly low if you compare it to the other tier 10, like 8.7 shots, and the T62 with 9.09 shots per minute. So turret traverse speed is at 40. If you look at the object 430, it's the exact same. The turret are almost the exact same on the stats wise. So the actual thing here is that you have 390 view range, and you have less than the object 430 because you're a tier 9. But you do have a better signal range, so that means you have a better radio in here. In the object 430 you have radio R113M, and in the object 430 version 2 you get a radio 10RT26, and you get 30 more signal range. It's probably not of big importance, but still it can maybe be helpful in some territories or some maps. So as you can see, this tank is already like the frontal armor. You're not gonna bounce everything, but you can bounce shots from tier 7, tier 8 probably sometimes if you're lucky. The turret is actually very nice. I bounce quite a lot. The only problem is those two commander's hatches. There are always problems on any the Russian medium tanks, on any tank actually. The thing is just here that one of the cupolas is on the front and one of them is on the back. I'm not sure if that's gonna help you avoid fire on the cupolas, but for me up to this point, most of the people have shot my lower hull instead of my cupola because I couldn't go hull down. So yeah, this tank actually looks really weird. There's a huge machine gun in the back. And I am just not one of those guys that loves such tanks. So let's jump into a battle and we'll see how this tank plays. So we're running a tier 9 match. The pen on this gun is 219 millimeters. It's shooting AP, not APCR. It's the exact same gun as on the T54. Just reload time is a lot longer. No, not reload time. The aiming time is a lot longer than the other gun. About 0.6 seconds, which is a huge difference in my opinion. So I will see that I can switch up the guns and show you guys some gameplay from both sides with this tank. So the first thing you will probably notice on this tank is you get this degree of 180. So that means you have to turn your entire tank if somebody's gonna flank you or is behind you, and that actually can really destroy the game for you. And people aren't stupid most of the time, so they notice stuff like that. And that's exactly what happened a lot of times. That I got flanked by mediums and they were behind me, and I had to turn all my tank, and it got a 48 traverse speed. That is 48 degrees per second. That is not bad, but still it is very annoying. As you can see here, the gun depression is rather bad. It's rather sloppy. That's because the turret is just way back on the tank. And well, that's just one of those things you have to deal with. Also, the gun elevation is rather limited. Gun elevation, the gun arc, it's just so annoying that you can't turn the whole turret on this tank, but I think that has to do with the balancing. If you could turn the whole turret of the tank, the gun would be too heavy for the tank, and you will maybe just, the gun would be on the ground all the time, and that would not be good for the tank. So the one thing you can do right here is so you can side scrape with this turret, this constellation, but you have to be rather careful because your hull is just they can still get some very lucky shots off on you, and it's just very annoying. So let's see, there we go. Now I can side scrape right here, no problem. Japanese tank with no armor and no penetration, and they're just gonna bounce off me until somebody is gonna notice that my cupola is actually my weak spot. So at the moment you can see, if you side scrape this tank, you should be doing fine until anybody's gonna shoot you on the turret. Now I'm gonna get flanked by the 54 and now I have to pull back. They have a huge force on the hill. Now I'm bouncing off the 54. Oh, I'm bouncing. That's not good. It's not good. So we gotta take out this 1815, and this is gonna end rather badly for us. So I'm gonna pull back all the way. They're all focused up on the kill. So, poor guy, sorry about that. Gotta get the hell out of here. Oh, no. Ah, I still hit one. Now it's pretty much over. My tank is wrecked. They got me permatrack right here. And as you can see, this tank really... You can side scrape with it, but I'm just not the biggest fan of the back turret. It always depends on what you do out of that situation. I should have backed up a lot faster than that. I should have fallen back earlier, but I didn't do that, unfortunately. We did do quite a nice amount of damage still on the hill, and I think it was the right decision to go up there and stall the enemy. So right now you can see my team and Centurion guy who's he's gonna bounce. I'm pretty sure this guy's gonna bounce off the low. Nope, he got lucky there. And he's dead. KV3 is gonna miss him. Nope. So this is pretty much a GG for the enemy team. They're gonna win this. Our ST1 is trying to still hold the spot right here. Gets a big hit on the frontal mantlet of the ST1. And now it's all up to the KV3 and the ST1. And the artillery, of course. But this is a city map, so RT would not be able to do a lot of damage, and shouldn't be able to do a lot of damage actually. So where the hell did this guy go? Oh, and the KV3 just misses his shot. Like, really fucks that shot up. The 43, the 34 is actually coming around the corner. KV3 actually killed that guy. Nice. The audio is going in TD mode. It's 3-on-3, and he actually hits him, and I'm not sure, was that a 0 damage or was that a bounce, or was it a... What the hell was that? That guy got unlucky. I'm not sure. Maybe we're gonna win this. But don't be the optimist always. Be a little bit critical sometimes. Not sure if the artillery is able to do anything right here. Because that 54 looks like a skilled 54 player. I'm pretty sure the ST1 is gonna get rolled up front. Yep, there he comes. GG. Looks like also now they made your chat log green if you type something in team. Oh, and the Audi doesn't shoot, of course. He is still... Oh, and he's dead. GG. GG to the 54. He knew what he was doing. He was playing very well. And he managed to take us out right there. So we did 3,000 damage about. Hit 12 shots. We penned about 9 of them. And now I'm gonna try out the 100. Actually, that would have been the better gun in the city. That would have been the better gun in the city. This gun right here, because of the higher fire rate, and we didn't really need the pen except on that 54. But other than that, we actually should have just used that gun. And now we actually need the other gun because we will be trying to, at least trying to be accurate. Now we can use the pen, the extra pen on the tank destroyers and all that stuff. So this gun only has 201 millimeters of pen. I will try to do my best. There are some new camos out there now. So, test server of course is always full with tank destroyers and all that stuff. But you gotta get used to this, and you will probably. The problem is just for all the players that play medium tanks, this is gonna be a really hard tank to play with, getting used to the back turret and all that stuff. But if you play the line like the object 416, and you get used, and you really like the object 416, I can only say that this tank is actually a great tank for you, because you can do the exact same thing as on the object 416, except that you have better turret armor than on the object 416, a smaller turret, so they actually aren't able to. Oh, we got some team colors over there. They aren't able to penetrate your frontal turret right there, and you can actually side scrape. Now I'm gonna try to snipe this IS-7, but actually I have to be more careful up on top of here, not to get into any trouble with any tank destroyer. That was a panic shot. And somebody is parking right behind me. And the other guy had the gun depression. I didn't know that he had the gun depression. I took a big hit right there. About 760. Could have been worse. It could have been up to 1,000. Damage right there. So we have to turn our tank to get this working. I'm gonna try to use my backside turret and push my tank up here, but at the moment it's not really working because I do not have enough engine power to do that. Let's get that pidoras. So we are playing with the gun with the bad pen. He just shot, he missed me, and he's dead. So we probably have to fire gold in this gun. We do have a better reload time now, but still bad pen, which makes it harder for us to actually pen all these guys. And I will use my speed and my agility right here to get to this object 268. That's just one of the things that really get me worked up on this tank. You cannot climb a lot of the hills. You got some problems, and right now you have to turn your whole entire tank. Hit that guy. Japanese medium tank does not have any armor on it, so you can just shoot anywhere you want to. As you can see there, went right through there. Now we're gonna have a problem. And yeah, what do we do now? E3. At least he's almost dead. Just send one in for good measures. See if we can. Oh crap! That was a heat shell. This actually is waste of time. Exactly, that was waste of time shooting at that guy. They do have E100 guarding this passageway, but since we are mediums and we're fast, we can just sneak through behind. So you can see this tank builds up to the top speed rather fast. Side turret shot. Something big hit him. That was the Fudge 155 with the auto-loading gun, or the only gun for it. That is an auto-loader. And I honestly have the feeling that in tier 10 matches this tank is gonna go under. I'm not sure if you can flank around like a 54 and do the exact same thing as a 54. You of course can bounce a lot of shells on your turret, but on your hull I'm not too sure about that. And since your tank is pretty long, look at that size of this tank. It's pretty long for a tank, for a medium tank in my opinion. The 54 is more compact and smaller in size. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a good enough competitor against the 54, which is a very nice tank, almost a perfect tank. And yeah, was that really? And now I just want to aim back at them. Yeah, we pen him right there. That was a gold shell. Let's take out the Jack Panzer, Jackzilla. Give us a flat angle. Turn your tank. Lucky shot. That was actually a lucky shot. I tried to hit the small armor plate in the middle of the tank, and I did hit him. So up to this point, we're doing pretty good with this tank. Not top damage. Not best of skills, of course. But still, we're actually fighting fairly well. We're winning matches. And now we get into a tough one. Of course, we're the only tier 9 in our team. And we're going up against tier 10s of all nations. Mediums and tank destroyers and Audi. Big variety. And we will be the smallest target. And I'm not sure. We're most definitely not the fastest tank over here. But we'll have to try at least. And let's try to get a victory out of this. I really don't like to play this map. Serene Coast, still not my favorite, even after they reworked it. Not too keen on this map, but still. I have to try at least. So I will go up north because I really don't like the south. I will see if I can go over to that spot right there and spot the enemy tanks. They do have a few mediums running down there. Mainly the STB1, the 62A, and some other tank. I don't like to go into that spot, into that dip right there, because I do not have the gun elevation. There, I bounce one off my turret. Or actually, no, that was my that was my frontal plate. But that was a very lucky bounce. That actually should have went through. That was a gold shell. Heat in that case. I will be starting to load heat shells right here, because so we pen that 1-2-1. Let's keep him lit. If we're up here, this is actually a very nice spot for all the people that have ever driven a IS-7. If you were in an IS-7, you can make it over here. You can just hold down and totally wreak havoc up here. I always forget that I'm not running a tier 10 tank destroyer when I'm doing that. There we go. You have to be very careful at this spot, because they could overrun me anytime. Just like this Fudge is trying right here. Oh, and we managed to hop and bounce one of his shots. Take him out, a little bitch. And I have to say, I'm impressed. I actually had a very bad first 3-4 games in this tank, mainly because of the turret. And actually, right now, I'm using it to my advantage. I'm not sure, maybe it's because I'm playing against not too great of tier 10 players. Or maybe it's just because this tank rolls. And my E50M is getting a little bit... The E50M on my team is getting a little bit too adventurous. Oh, and he hit my engine. I'm getting a little bit too aggressive right here. Nope. Bounce. Lucky bounce. That should have not bounced. That was because I was on a slope. And right here. I'm actually very impressed by this whole armor. I did not expect to bounce as many shots as I am right at the moment. But that of course has to do with the enemy team, with the aim of the enemy team. All that kind of stuff. So right here we're rolling the enemy team. I got really absolutely no damage. Since we're playing in a tier 10 match, I think it's fine. We didn't do the most amount of damage, we didn't do the amazing amount of damage. That pretty much was all taken away by the E50M and the E57. So, at least we got sharpshooter. We only did 834 damage. We received potentially 2,530 damage. We bounced a lot of shells. That was actually a very nice display of the bouncing. And I will try this again. See if my luck runs out with these bouncing shots. And now we're in a nice match, tier 9. And actually we can actually do something in this game. So as you guys know, what I like to do on this map is to go to that spot right here, sit there and snipe the tanks up there at B5 and B6, and I will see if I can do this tactic with a tank like this, since you cannot turn your turret 360 degrees. And if it works out, I'll be happy. If it doesn't work out, yeah, well, fucked. I'm fucked then. But still, let's try it. I don't like to go up north, mainly because they have a lot of TDs there. Audi is all focused up north, all that kind of stuff, which is very, very uncomfortable for a tank of this size and with only about 1,700 health points. But I have to say on this part, This tank does have more health points than the E50, no, not the E50, but the T54, and the same amount of health points as the Patton M46 in that case, not the M48. Patton M46, a very lovely tank. I loved it back in the days, and I still enjoy it, but I don't own it anymore, so I'm not sure how it is anymore. But I heard that they gave it some buffs and all that kind of stuff, and I'm happy about that. So as we go there are some guys. They're actually all pushing up north. Couldn't. It's the exact same tank. He's very low, as you can see the profile. That makes it really hard to hit a good part of this tank. And I just took a shot at the turret because he was facing with the side turret right there, and he's actually going behind the rock, doing the right thing, grabbing some cover. And now I got no more shots on him. So I take a blind shot at this WZ, and it looks like we hit him. Our E25 has been taken out right there, so we lost our spotter. Or maybe not, maybe not. Our ST1 is pushing. Not sure if I should take a look around here. I'm pretty sure they're gonna push south pretty soon, and there we go. You're coming in. I have to see if there's anybody over here. Then I'm gonna start shooting down southwards, and there we go. There we go. Set the 110 on fire. I'm gonna take out the Ferdinand first, because the Ferdinand does have a very fearsome gun, even in tier 8. There you go. Take a hit by the 110. I'm gonna go behind this building, grab cover. Shoot on the drive, and because of this very low profile, you can actually hide behind a lot of little ridges that you actually couldn't do that. Bouncing some shells, just hit that guy. Now we gotta take out the WZ. Easier said than done because he's so far away, but we do have the advantage on our side. The low profile make it really hard to hit this tank from that distance, and we can just shoot that guy from over here. So we hit him for 300 something. We tracked him, I think. Bam, he's gone. That was actually very beautiful. This spot here, this map is very nice for this tank, I can already say that. The gun depression isn't too bad. I was expecting a lot worse. Maybe this always has to be with the map. It has to do with the map most of the time, of course. There's a 54, but we have a guy at base, so we should be able to handle that. So I will try to keep on pushing. All this new stuff, now you can shoot through buildings and all that kind of shit. There's the 71. He's gonna get flanked right up there. I'm not sure if it would be the smartest thing to go up there. I should go all the way around because they do have a front of TDs at those spots right there. And the Jag Tiger moved over here. We'll see. I will move up, try to engage the 54. Take care of that first. then I'm gonna move over to the other side of the map. I'm actually very positively surprised by this tank, by the fact that this tank is agile, maneuverable, fast actually, and does have a very nice turret. And actually the hull armor is just as good as the 54 hull armor. The only thing that maybe can be a problem to a lot of guys is its back turret. That is also the turret on the back is actually the good and the bad thing of this tank. It's the great and the worst thing at the same time, because if you have this turret on the back, you can really side scrape very nicely on this tank. And the worst thing in that case, if it's not really the turret on the worst thing that the turret is on the backside. It's more the worst thing that the turret is just that you cannot turn your turret 360 degrees. That is pretty much the worst thing in my opinion. There we go. I actually just wanted to take out the building. I thought he would be hiding behind a building. Somebody just shot at me. Pretty sure that yeah, that was the Waffenträger that is shooting at me. They're all hiding at A7. Not sure if that is a good positioning for all those tanks. Gonna see what I can do over here. I'm gonna just continue on sniping. No, I'm gonna move up. I have to move up because I got no shots over here. And we got about, I'm not sure, I can't see what the timer's up there because Action is hiding that, and this guy's calling for help. I'm gonna assure him that I'm gonna move up and help him. Crap, I didn't see that guy. There you go. 71 is taken care of. We can actually move up. As I can say, I'm pleasantly surprised by this tank. Very, very surprised. No armor, no, great armor, great turret, great armament, great agility, great movability. And there we just took a track shot, but we got the equipment. Since this is let's push him down here. And you're dead. There we go, we had a Top Gun. GG. We finished off the enemy team. And we had the ace tanker in this tank. So we did 4,231 damage. Shots fired 24, 19 of which direct hits, penetrated 16. We did 4,000 damage, as I already said. We received 6 hits. 3 were non-penetrating and 3 were penetrations. And potential damage received was up to 2,740. We got 1,929 spotting damage, and we made a profit of 8,000. So actually, this was a very nice game, and I would say this is a perfect time to conclude my preview of this tank. In all, do not look at the tank by its looks, but by its stats. Don't judge it because it looks so weird. It is a hell of a nice tank. it obviously can be a nice competitor to the T54, and actually is worth a tier 9 tank. And up to this point, all I can say is, except for the A43 and the A44, this entire tank tree is worth the grind. But still, my opinion is still the same. If you want to go for the T62A or the Object 140, you can still go through the T34, 85 and T43 line, because those tanks are great too. Those are really good tanks. But also, if you don't want to go grind the T44, because a lot of people hate that tank, I actually love it. I really enjoy it. You can go through the Object 416, which is not a bad tank, and then you can get to the 54 and the Object 430, because I think I'm gonna go grind this line right now, and I will get the Object 416, and on the release of 8.10 I'm gonna go get the Object 430, because this tank is amazing, 54 is amazing, and all these three tier 10 medium tanks are actually all amazing. So these two new tanks actually just make the tech tree line for the Russian medium tanks greater, and just give you more variety for maybe if you don't like T44 and you just get upset playing this tank, that you stop playing it and just you can go with the Object 416. The only problem is just the 180 degree angling of the 180 degree gun arc that you have. But you can get used to that really fast, as I never played this tank before, and I got used to it. Just the problem is maybe if you have to move, you have to turn and you get out of the cover and your camo goes off. Well, it's just one of those things you have to get used to and you have to learn. But other than that, I would say this tank is amazing, and this whole line is actually great. And if you really don't know what tanks you should grind, go for the Object 430, this line. Go for all those lines. The Russian mediums are great. That was clear from the beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will come at you guys later on with the Japanese tank preview. And yeah, this was Tank 12, and I'm out.